I've been fucking hoes and popping pillies, man, I feel just like a rock star.
Rockstar Games is one of the best video games developers in the world. After being founded in 1998, Rockstar has produced some of the biggest and best game series this art form has ever seen. It is, of course, most famous for the Grand Theft Auto series, which has evolved over its lifetime from the top-down, 2D action of the original to the open-world epic that is GTA 5. However, Rockstar Games is more than just Grand Theft Auto, and its back catalog of titles deserves a closer look. What follows is a list of the best titles Rockstar Games has released so far. These games cover 9 years and multiple gaming platforms, and each has that indefinable quality that marks a Rockstar Games title out from the competition. They just killed Cash. Now, they want to kill him again. America is full of run-down, broken Rust Belt towns where nobody cares and anything goes. In Carcer City, nothing matters anymore and all that's left are cheap thrills. The ultimate rush is the power to grant life and take it away, the sport. This time James Earl Cash, you are the sport. They gave you your life back. Now, they are going to hunt you down. You awake to the sound of your own panicked breath. You must run, hide and fight to survive. If you can stay alive long enough, you may find out who did this to you. This is a brutal blood sport. The game itself unflinchingly depicts intense graphic violence, the likes of which you might expect from a slasher movie, but not so much from games. However, these grisly scenes are done up in style, as Manhunt has a real cinematic flair to it, not to mention a suffocating atmosphere that perfectly fits the theme. It also does a better job of incorporating stealth mechanics than most other such games, though the latter portion of Manhunt devolves into a nearly continuous, mind-numbing series of shootouts. Nonetheless, those wondering whether Scotland-based Rockstar North is capable of putting together something remarkable that doesn't have Grand Theft Auto in the title, need wonder no more. Manhunt is seriously intense, and anyone with the stomach for the game's concept ought to find it fiendishly entertaining. Rockstar's bread and butter may be a little series known to some as Grand Theft Auto, but the world of Liberty City isn't the only open-world creation the company has up its sleeve. Indeed, Midnight Club has been tearing up the streets of the world for years, and the latest iteration is upon us in the form of Midnight Club, Los Angeles. The game marks the series' first appearance on the PlayStation 3 and Xbox 360, and with it comes some pretty impressive visual work, very cool uses of scale and an extremely quick racing experience. The game has a whole lot going for it, and racing fans would do well to check it out. However, it's not perfect, with a few bumps in the road here and there that keep it from being the undisputed king of the streets. Contender though, most certainly. Let's start with the city of Los Angeles. Rockstar San Diego has done a fantastic job of bringing the city to life in the game, a version that isn't exactly like the real thing. The whole city would be boring to drive and just too big, but features all of the highlights that you would expect to see here. If you know your way around LA, you'll feel right at home here. You know Max Payne, you've been hearing about it for years now. Originally slated for a spring 2000 release, Max Payne has been in development for a while, and has gotten a lot of media attention, but I can honestly say that, after playing it, Max Payne lives up to the hype. A story-driven third-person shooter with a realistic weapon setup including over a dozen real-life guns, all fitting the crime story setting like a bullet in the head. The action is surrounded with more than 80 hand-painted comic screens that enhance the game's gritty atmosphere and attitude, introduce the game's murderous cast of characters, and carry the plot from one location to the next. Amid the post-war boom of Hollywood's golden age, Cole Phelps, an LAPD detective, is thrown headfirst into a city drowning in its own success. Corruption is rampant, the drug trade is exploding, and murder rates are at an all-time high. In his fight to climb the ranks and do what's right, Phelps must unravel the truth behind a string of arson attacks, racketeering conspiracies and brutal murders, battling the LA underworld and even members of his own department to uncover a secret that could shake the city to its rotten core. Using groundbreaking new animation technology that captures every nuance of an actor's facial performance in astonishing detail. A Noir is a violent crime thriller that blends breathtaking action with true detective work to deliver an unprecedented interactive experience. Search for clues, chase down suspects and interrogate witnesses as you struggle to find the truth in a city where everyone has something to hide. The Warriors is based on the 1979 gang film of the same name. In the game, you'll play as the leader of a gang that is struggling to regain control of the streets of New York. You must lead a team of up to 8 other gang members and fight rival gangs in locations across New York. The combat system incorporates combos, a rage mode, and trash-talking snap attacks. The game material extends beyond the movie, drawing upon the book on which the movie is based. The first half of the game's narrative is essentially a prologue to the events in the film. It details the scrapes, spray paint battles and general anarchy that the Warriors indulge in. Each chapter deals with War Chief Cleon, new recruit Rembrandt and the other members of the Warriors gang. The setting is a Kubrick-esque dystopian New York. Gangs roam the streets and protect their turfs, cause beefs with other gangs and freely exhibit their destructive impulses on shop fronts, muscle cars and dive bars. When the narrative arrives at its halfway point, it functions as more of an adaptation of the film's events. Bully. Scholarship Edition takes place in the fictional New England boarding school of Bulworth Academy and tells the story of 15-year-old Jimmy Hopkins as he experiences the highs and lows of adjusting to a new school. Capturing the hilarity and awkwardness of adolescence perfectly, Bully. Scholarship Edition pulls the player into its cinematic and engrossing world. Bully offers a wide and open world in which you can roam freely. Add some freaky characters and a one-of-a-kind feel and you'll get Bully. Too bad the game lost some of its powers over the last 2 years and that the overall look and gameplay of Bully feels a little outdated. If you've never played Bully, you'll probably will have a blast. Otherwise, it's best to save some of that money. There are times when I look at Los Santos and think, why would you even think to build that? This is, appropriately, a thought that I often have about Los Angeles. In GTA 5's case, the tone is different, baffled wonderment as opposed to baffled, despair. Rockstar have created one of the most extraordinary game environments you will ever visit. I look at it and I wonder at the vast expense of effort required to render every trash bag and every back alley just so. I marvel at the care evident in San Andreas' gorgeous sunsets, in the way that sunglasses subtly alter the color balance of the world, in the artfully chosen selection of licensed music designed to accompany your experience. Everything about Los Santos demonstrates the extraordinary amount of thought and love poured into it by hundreds of developers over many years. The abiding irony of Grand Theft Auto 5 is that everybody who actually lives in Los Santos hates it there. Developed by Rockstar San Diego, as a follow-up to the 2004 hit game Red Dead Revolver, Red Dead Redemption is a Western epic. Set at the turn of the 20th century when the lawless and chaotic Badlands began to give way to the expanding reach of government and the spread of the industrial age. The story of former outlaw John Marston, Red Dead Redemption takes players on a great adventure across the American frontier. Utilizing Rockstar's proprietary Rockstar Advanced Game Engine, Rage. Red Dead Redemption features an open-world environment for players to explore, including frontier towns, rolling prairies teeming with wildlife, and perilous mountain passes, each packed with an endless flow of varied distractions. Along the way, players experience the heat of gunfights and battles, meet a host of unique characters, struggle against the harshness of one of the world's last remaining wilderness, and ultimately pick their own precarious path through an epic story about the death of the Wild West and the gunslingers that inhabited it. This list represents the best titles Rockstar Games has produced so far. It's an incomplete list, for sure, as not only is this legendary developer likely to produce many more classics in the future, you'll likely have your own games to add to the mix. If you do, we want to hear from you. Do you agree or disagree with the titles that made the cut? Are there any that you would remove from the list? Any that you would add in their place? Would you like to see sequels to any Rockstar titles? Please feel free to let us know your thoughts.